American Indian. The first people to live in North America were American Indian or Native American. According to the religious and folk stories of many Indian groups, their earliest ancestors arrived in North America from the inside of the earth. Modern scientists, however, believe that the first Native American came from Asian 50 to 80 years ago, according to the Bering Strait from Siberia to Alaska. They were nomads that is did not live in one place, but instead were always on the move as they looked for food in other woods. The first American Indians were hunters who followed the animal their food, searching during times of migrations from the place to place together. The nomadic people and animals slowly migrate toward the south. These early inhabitants spread out all over the North American continents, now Canada, the United States, and Mexico. There was a great variety of language, religious beliefs, and customs among the many tribes or groups of Indians. By the time the first Europeans arrived, the Indians were living in several different cultural areas. The members of various tribes in each center of culture had frequent contact with one another and shared similar characteristics. But they didn't have much in common with tribes in other cultural areas. For example, the Pima and Papago tribes of the southwestern desert and similar customs and habits, but their lifestyle was completely different from that of the Sioux who live on the plains, the Apaches in the southwest, and the Quaquiut and the Tlingit on the northwest coast of the Natives and Tonkawas on the Gulf Coast and in the Florida. The lifestyle of the people who live in each cultural area reflect the geography of that area. In the inhabitants of the northwest coast, now British Columbia, Canada, lived by hunting and fishing, but they didn't lead a nomadic life. They didn't need to follow animals from place to place because they could take advantage of the resource where they were living. The oceans and river produce salmon, halibut, and many other fish. The forests were rich in animal life. They offered deer, eel, and bear, as well as similar animal. In the forest, the inhabitants could also find berries to eat and wood for birds, furniture, and house. Geography influenced other areas of life too. Hunting was seasonal work best in the summer. Therefore, the tribe's members were very busy at certain times of year, but in other seasons they had the opportunity to spend time in creative activities such as woodworking and art from for which the Northwest Coast Indian became well known. Unlike the inhabitants of the Northwest Coast, the Indian of the Eastern Plains had a agricultural society. They lived in farming communities and rice crop, corn, beans, quails, and tobacco. The myriad of these tribes live differently from those in the Northwest. Because there were so few trees on the flat land, their houses were of earth instead of wood. While the food was growing, the people stayed in their communities. Yet after the harvest, when they had broke in the crops, the Indian route was on horse. They had gotten Lamron Spanish from Mexico hunt buffalo during the months when they were looking for buffalo. The lifestyle of the hunter was similar to that of the nomadic tribes on the western plains. Today's plains Indian both eastern and western buffalo was very important. It provided many necessities, men skin for TVs, houses that people could carry, clothing and material for spoon bags and beds. The buffalo hunt was also central to many Arctic social and religious activities. When Europeans arrived on the North American continent several hundred years ago and the Native American old way of life began to change, the difference between Europeans and Indian values soon led to difficulties. As the white moved west, they took over more and more of the land for themselves. Native Americans lost only their land but also their lives to widespread wars and sicknesses that were non-existent in North America before the Europeans came. But they had lost something even more important, their sense of identity. When the Plains Indians, for instance, lost their hunting ground and when the buffalo became almost extinct, the most important characteristic of their society, the buffalo hunt, was gone. Today, although some Native Americans live in urban areas, many live on reservation land that the government set aside from them. Some tribes have held on the language and ancient custom of their ancestors, while others, in general, have forgotten the old ways. Although some groups are relatively wealthy, most are very poor and have had the received help from the government in recent years. Many tribes have begun to regain their sense of the identity and their cultural heritage. They are having war once again, this time in Skor, where they have succeeded in several legal battles. They are fighting to win back their land and their fish and hunting right the base of their ancestral way of life. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much.